Thank you for having me. It means a great deal to me to be able to speak first and foremost on behalf of Kitsap Fresh. So I'm going to start with that organization. So Kitsap Fresh was started 5 years ago by Aaron and Ronnie Smith of Smithshire Farm. They had been introduced to this model down in South Pierce County. And when they moved back up here, which is where Aaron was born and raised, and started their own homestead, they decided that they wanted to launch an organization with a similar framework. And one of the reasons for that is Kitsap, unlike Jefferson County, Snohomish County, is made up of a lot of small farms. We don't have a lot of big farms around here. Butler Green, I would put those guys in sort of a mid-level farm. And so what the Kitsap Fresh framework allows for is for more, so many small micro farms, small farms to come together and to offer their extra produce. And the model is, it's one that is now being sought after. I mean, Aaron is regularly being asked to speak to other online food hubs or folks who are wanting to start up this model across the country. And so the time for this has never been more important. And I just want to put it out there that Kitsap Fresh has seen a 400% increase growth in 4 weeks.
Oh.
And so, you know, and I have to admit too, I've been up since 6 also on meetings with the Kitsap Fresh board. We communicate regularly every day. And so what we're trying to do right now is to really thoughtfully take in that growth and figure out how to grow the organization sustainably. And so what that has meant is that we are capping orders. We're allowing for a 20% growth now each week over week. And so the order period opens at 9 o'clock on Saturday mornings. It closes at 11:50 p.m. on Sunday evening. And if we get to our 20% growth mark, which we did this last Saturday evening, I think it was like 6 o'clock. We didn't even go 24 hours of having the market open. Then we closed the market. And we're coming up with other ways to try to maybe grow the organization more rapidly. But as you might imagine, there are challenges associated with that. So the first thing I want to say in the context of that is your support really, really matters. It's really important right now. I'm sure most of you understand that farmers market, although I heard that Seattle farmers markets, thanks to collective efforts, are coming back online. But because each municipality is responsible for approving that, it's complex. And so right now, most of the farmers are left without farmers markets. And we know small scale farmers across Kitsap who are young, who are in their 20s, 30s, they have kids. And these are our families, you know, hats off to them. We have income from our other business. For them, this is their exclusive source of income, and it's their passion and their livelihood. So your support, it really makes a difference. So thank you to all of you who are choosing to support Kitsap farmers and food producers. So the membership is free. You sign up for an account. That is no charge to you. And again, market opens 9 a.m. Saturday, closes 11:50 p.m. on Sunday, unless we hit our mark. And there are two big bonuses to this model. One is the obvious, where you are directly supporting those farmers, and there is a margin that Kitsap Fresh takes for overhead, and I think at this point it is maybe 12%. We're talking about increasing that a bit, but still the profit that the farmers make on that is the most that they would make outside of selling directly at their farmers markets. And so the other benefit is that this growing the resiliency of our local food system is incredibly important. We are seeing, and we will continue over the course of, I don't have a crystal ball, whether that's months or years, I don't know, but we will continue to see the ramifications of the way in which our food systems have become globalized and nationalized. And so it's important to support the local farmers in rethinking this, because I don't think any of us know ultimately what this will all look like when we're on the other side of things. And then I would say that there's a third benefit, which is you can choose a la carte. And so, you know, a lot of people really prefer the CSA model. They don't have to think about what they are receiving in their box each week. I know farmers are becoming more hands-on and providing recipes and creative ways in which to use the produce that's in the CSA boxes. But the really great thing too about Kitsap Fresh is that you can buy Judith Weinstock. So her bread is amazing. It is loved in our household. So she started up Streamliner Diner long time ago. And then she had Kingston Cafe. And now she's Food Muse Inspirations. And she has a beautiful bakery out of her house in Indianola. So you can buy her cracked pepper Parmesan cheese bread, and you can buy, you know, the amazing purple sprouting broccoli from Broken Ground Farm. And you can buy, you know, Butler Green has the largest leeks I have ever seen in my life right now. And so you can choose a la carte, and, you know, dairy, butter, all of the two dairies that are really bringing a lot of their really great food to Kitsap Fresh really do an exceptional job. Then there's Walker Meadow Farms, Tanya the Sheepish Pig, we know her well. And all of her pork, her Mangalisa pork products are incredible. And, you know, I have to admit, I'm an emotional person, and I'm especially emotional these days. And even when I talk about all of these people, what is also so beautiful, the fourth of many, I'm sure, I can't enumerate them all, benefits is that you get to know the people who are growing your food in the community. Yep. And so I heard someone was going through so thoughtfully, who knows Kitsap Fresh and the digital interface well, and going through some of the products. So let me know if I have missed something. I'm happy to answer questions, but I think that's the basic gist.
So Kitsap Farm, when you want to register, we're new, and this is all new to us, but you have a phone number or something you can share?
Go to the website.
Well, so you register for your account online, okay, and it's kitsapfresh.org.
Okay, got it.
And it's super simple to sign up for an account. There's two circles on the homepage. One says, I want to buy, and one says, I want to sell. Okay. So you as the customer would choose, I want to buy.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm sure.
And also I should put out there, if any of you ever have any questions directly for the organization after we're done here, info@kitsapfresh.org goes directly to Aaron Smith, our general manager. And do not hesitate to reach out and ask him questions.
Stacy, this is Lynn, and I assume that all of your products are of the edible nature from a farmer's market, not crafts or handmade other items.
We did actually, as a board last year, approve to bring on handmade soaps.
Okay.
And so I would say those are, so yes, in some form or another, an agricultural product has to be involved in the final product, whether it's a A value added product like Darris's dressings from Oxalis Kitchen. She sources most of her ingredients from all the local farms. In fact, she's about to use some of our green garlic in some of her dressings. So yeah, but outside of that, no crafts.
Okay.
So Stacy,
Mm-hmm.
seeing how the interest and long-term, I mean, no one knows the future. And so, and I can only think that these kinds of farming cooperatives are going to be playing a larger and larger part of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
So at 20% capping, how will you grow this to scale? And do you want to? And how will that balancing between quality and quantity kind of be maintained in a way that the farmers feel good about it?
I don't have an answer to that really great question, but it's something that all of us are thinking about nearly every hour of every day. I mean, literally, I have had dozens of communications already with the board and with friends of the farms who I'm in regular contact with also. So I just want to rewind the tape just a little bit, because this is a great question. And I want to at least be able to honor it again without having a crystal ball. So before the pandemic, Kitsap Fresh existed. And this model has been around for 5 years. And I think often, we are invited to make meaningful change. And this is an opportunity. I mean, I always say, though, obviously, none of us would have ever wanted this to happen. But it's an opportunity for us to reevaluate where our food comes from. And I celebrate that so many people are shifting from perhaps, buying from other local avenues to supporting local farmers. Mother Nature is on her own schedule and she can't be rushed. And the farmers are doing everything they possibly can to try to scale to the demand. But we put our farm plans together the winter before, and we do our seed planning the fall and winter before our upcoming season. And so that's the first piece of this this challenge in the of the equation, which is the farmers can't scale in 4 weeks. And but I can tell you, which is why I was 20 minutes late to this call. I was out there planting 500 of our third succession planting purple broccoli. It's completely taken over areas where I had planned to do my cut flower CSA. So
Good.
I think farmers, I do believe this. I know it's a generalization, but they tend to be, you have to deal with Mother Nature, right? So they tend to be flexible and adaptable. So I'm just going to say hats off to them right now because they're doing that. And then it's an economic piece. Kitsap Fresh is a tiny organization. And we're trying to figure out how we can possibly raise money for cargo vans to start home delivery, which is being begged of us now. And so we're also trying to look at how to grow within this time, which is also an economically stressful time. So I don't know. All I can say is, in the light of not having a crystal ball and not knowing, I've been on calls And in fact, this is typically the time that the WSU food system call is going on. And a lot of really amazing people, especially from Jefferson and Skagit County and over in Eastern Washington also. I've been on so many calls. I didn't even know what Zoom was before all of this. And now I'm like, my head's zooming all the time. There are people, it brought me to tears the first time I joined this meeting 2 weeks ago. And what's really great is that there are so many women. There are so many women who are involved in this local food system agricultural movement. But I was listening to them talk, and they're just passionate about innovating and responding to the demands and thinking creatively. It's the right lot of people to be solving this problem. That's my opinion.
Well, that was a beautiful answer. Thank you.
Yes, very, very thoughtful. And Stacy, I don't know whether this would work or not, but you're a nonprofit.
We are not a nonprofit, and we're struggling
Okay.
with that right now because we
Yeah.
just had an incredible, I received a call at 8 a.m., actually 7:50 in the morning yesterday morning, from a community member who donated generously to the project that my family and I spearheaded on the island a few years ago. And she wants to donate. And we're trying to work that out. We are trying to, that's how I spent much of my early morning, is trying to figure out a fiscal sponsorship partnership. And I don't know, I don't have the answer to what that might look like. I wish we were a 501c3.
The reason I ask is because I work for Island Volunteer Caregivers, and one year, few years back, I found on their website that they provide vans free to nonprofits. This would be a great way for them to use some of their vans and get food to people. And I don't know, it might be worth calling. Our contact there is Dee Williams, and she was so excited when we managed to work it out. She was really thrilled that Kitsap Transit would be using their vans for IVC. And we're now using that van. Our volunteers are still driving them, and they are picking up groceries and delivering prescriptions and taking people to doctor's appointments and that kind of thing. So we're not using it as much as we used to, obviously, because we only have one person. But maybe there's a way they could, we just, or maybe regular.
You're breaking up.
Sorry. Good.
I wish I could hear you. You're breaking up. And so I haven't caught the last minute or so of what you said. Can everyone still hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
you're crystal clear.
Okay.
But we did miss Lynn's.
So I put Dee Williams. I know of Dee, and I put her name down. There's some constraints that we have because we transport food, and so I am going to absolutely pursue this suggestion, and I appreciate that.
That's great.
Hi, this is Jim Hayner. This is a business, and I don't see how it fits into a nonprofit, but I don't know nonprofits, but I do know business. And this is a very viable business, and it can be grown. So am I right about that?
Our board is in pretty in-depth discussions about that. And when I say I wish it was a nonprofit, my husband and I are small business owners, and we have been for 17 years. And I'm just going to, I think this is getting a little bit off the subject, but I'm just going to say that I believe wholeheartedly in small businesses and the power of small businesses. And so I think that there have historically been challenges with the way in which the organization business Kitsap Fresh has been supported, relying a lot on volunteer support, because again, this this online food hub, it wasn't supported, and it wasn't, whether that's because of lack of visibility or I have no idea. I've been on the board now for 15 months. And so I'm just going to say that yes, I believe there is great value in it being run as a small business. There are challenges associated with getting it to the point where it is being run in that way. We have to shift over from a volunteer basis to paid staff, and we're making those transitions as fast as possible.
Great. Thanks very much. That's a good answer. I appreciate it.
Thanks. That was a great question, actually. It's one we're talking about nearly every day.
Good luck.
Thank you.
So does anyone else have any more comments or questions for Stacy since we have her on? I know she's very busy.
I'm
so-
happy to be here. I'm happy to answer any questions. I truly, I am not usually one to be late like this for a meeting, but so I'll just tell you, so our farm is Petal and Pitchfork Farm. We have been small business owners. Grounds for Change is our business that we launched on Bainbridge Island in 2003 with a great deal of support from our family, who both of our sets of parents live on the island. And they have helped tremendously. I actually just spoke to this on one of my social media posts. We are truly a family business, and our parents have stepped up in so many ways, and whether that's laying tile on the floor of our lobby or wrapping chocolates to send out at holiday time to our retail customers across the country. And we came across this property 3.5 years ago, and we were looking to grow our own food. My husband and I have been together for 30 years, and we putzed around the first decade with food, and then and I grew up growing food. I know my husband did, but my parents had a 1-acre garden, and my dad hunted. We had venison and pheasant and rabbits, and he was a butcher, and my mom was a stay-at-home mom, and she filled our root cellar lined with canned goods. And so that's how I grew up. I knew where a lot of my food came from. And I think that there's this intimacy that we develop with that knowing that is really, it's critical for our well-being and the well-being of the planet. I firmly believe that. And so we were ready to shift into growing at a little larger scale to feed maybe, just our family and extended family. And we were looking for an acre or two, and we landed on these 15 acres. And we're up on Sherman Hill outside of Poulsbo, just a few minutes outside of Poulsbo. This was settled by Finnish family in the late 1800s. And it has, historically, it was in agriculture. You can tell from the way the pasture, is free of rocks and some of the drain lines. And so 9 of our acres is in woodland, and then the rest of it is the homestead. And then we have roughly 2 acres, probably a little shy of that, in cultivation right now for food and flowers. And then we hope to be able to put the remainder of the pasture, especially under COVID-19 and all the awareness that it's raised for us also, to put the rest of it into food. But we're tiny. We're a tiny little operation, and we rely on a lot of family to help us get the work done here. So that's who we are. We have eggs, and we have cut flowers, and we have a website, petalandpitchfork.com. And someday when all this is over, you should all come visit. It's pretty idyllic out here.
Yes, I can see that as a great field trip, right, everyone?
Yeah, it is.
Yes. Yes, that'd be lovely.
So does anybody have any other questions for me? I'm happy to the best of my ability, answer anything else.
Stacy, what is the name of your farm now? Or your
It's Petal, like the flower petals. So petal and is spelled out, pitchfork.com.
Petal and pitchfork.com.
And we sell through Kitsap Fresh. We sell, we have our 11-year-old is in charge of our flock. We have 120 chickens. I think 10 or 12 of those are roosters that crow all day and all night. And we sell our cut flowers. We just have had a beautiful season of anemone and ranunculus. Ranunculus will still be on the next couple of weeks. And now we're shifting into a lot of our stuff in our high tunnel. We've got some beautiful purple lady bok choy that's maturing, and some beautiful bib lettuce, and we'll have all the goodies. We'll have winter squash, summer squash, tomatoes, cucumbers. Yeah.
Now,
And are you still roasting coffee?
We are. Yeah. This is a shout out to my husband, who actually wears many hats. So he is running that operation, Grounds for Change, Monday through Friday. And then this is not figuratively. He literally comes home and slips out of those clothes and puts on his dirty Carhartts, which stand up on their own these days. And then goes outside. He was working in the fields using our BCS walk behind tractor just yesterday, getting ready for our second 100-foot high tunnel that we're about to put up.
now your flowers that obviously aren't sold on the Kitsap Fresh because they're not food, but you said they're for sale now or not?
Oh,
Or-
I should back up. So they're an agricultural product, so they are sold through Kitsap Fresh.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
And there are other flower growers too, especially as the season continues, who will sell their flowers on Kitsap Fresh also.
Okay, great. Well, it sounds like you have a wonderful understanding of of our place in nature. You have a wonderful understanding of family. You have a wonderful understanding of what people are going through right now. And this has been very informative, and it's really been heartfelt to hear about what you're doing. And we definitely want to be supporters. This is new for us, so we want to be supporters.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll try to keep my composure. It's a really hard time right now. And,
Yeah.
I'm also going to be really candid. We're really privileged. We have all this acreage. We have the know-how to grow our own food, and I worry about the populations who are marginalized. And
Yes.
of course, I worry about emergency services and healthcare providers. I also worry about things like our seed supply. One of the conversations we've been having through this WSU food systems Zoom meeting every Friday is, the seed companies didn't anticipate this demand. And, many of them now are selling exclusively to those of us who have business licenses. And so I wonder, this is my son. He doesn't know that he is being seen by many, many people. He has
Hello.
no idea. That's our 11-year-old son. He just came in from being outside in the fields too. Okay, just a minute, Liv. Anyway, so those are, there are things that I worry about, and simultaneously, you see Elliot, like he's, it's not a hardship. Anyway, I appreciate all of your support, because there are many who are near and dear to us for whom these are really tough times.
Yes.
I appreciate your thoughtfulness, and clearly you're producing food with a heart full of gratitude, and the things that you're producing are labors of love. And I think that's an important thing for all of us to remember every time we eat anything, but especially when we choose to support our local community and our community farm.
Yes.
Yeah, nourishment goes so much deeper than the calories and where those calories come from. I firmly believe that there is a sacred relationship between us and our food. We're just living